I did my project on the Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio. This is a collection of 100 stories told by a group of young people escaping the chaos in Florence. Who was Boccaccio? Boccaccio was a 14th century Italian writer and one of the most important voices of the early Renaissance. He is best known for the Decameron, which captures the fears, hopes, and contradictions of people living through the Black Death, using realism, irony, and psychological insight. The plague arrived in Europe between 1347 and 1351, killing more than 20 million people, about 1/3 of the population. This spread so fast because they were living in a crowded urban city. Beyond the enormous death toll, the Black Death transformed every part of society and reshaped their culture. Boccaccio's description of the Black Death is considered a valuable historical record in Florence at the time. The Black Death killed about 25 to 50% of Europe. This book tells the story of 10 young Florentines, 7 women, 3 men, fleeing the Black Death, who passed their time by telling 10 stories over a span of 2 weeks, electing a king or queen every day to be the storyteller. Pampinea is elected queen on day 1, and she decides to set only one rule. Stories may be about anything the storyteller chooses. One of the sources I use is called Boccaccio the Philosopher by Filippo Andre. And one of the quotes I found says, "However, in attempt to better understand the mechanisms of Boccaccio's language in all its manifold connotations, elusiveness, metaphors, and word puns is a task whose undertaking is worthwhile." I thought this quote perfectly describes Boccaccio's style of writing and how you shouldn't take it for face value. You have to dig a little deeper to understand what he really means in his writing. In the Decameron, Day 1, Story 1, there's a story about a guy named Sir Capolito, who is a notoriously wicked man, a liar, and a violent criminal. One day he decides to perform the ultimate con. He lies outrageously, claiming he has never cursed, never committed any wrongdoings in his life. The friar is completely fooled, convinced he is meeting a living saint. This story is one of the most famous depictions of church corruption in medieval literature. The friar is completely deceived by Capolito's fake confession. The quote saying, "The holy friar believed every word, being so simple, a man, and was greatly edified by confession in itself so admirable." The priest is portrayed as naive and easily manipulated, unable to detect lies. Another theme I found in the Decameron from Day 1, Story 1 is human resilience after disaster. They are living in one of the worst crises, and they have to choose what they're going to do to get out of this disaster. One of the quotes I found says, "To provide for their own preservation, they resolved to leave the city." This shows resilience because instead of surrendering to the disaster happening around them, the group takes intentional action to survive and protect one another. Another quote I found that shows human resilience after disaster says, "They propose that each should tell a story to pass the heat of the day. They use their imagination and art to cope with trauma." This next quote is another quote that shows human resilience after disaster. It's one of the queens that were elected on day 1, She's singing and trying to make good out of the disaster that is surrounded around them. Boccaccio's message in the Decameron tries to convey it is meant to edify female readers and to have them acquire a better worldview, to have them understand the dangers of life. Boccaccio believes that stories can teach and entertain at the same time, but a person has to be in the right emotional state to appreciate them. His book aims to cheer up the ladies, distract them from the heavy sadness of the plague, and then offer them lessons and enjoyment at the same time. Written for the comfort and delight of women suffering during this terrible time. He believes that good storytelling is a form of therapy, while also giving you wisdom. The Decameron's fictional world does not care for the actual. What it really concerns itself with, instead, is the possible. These are the sources I used, and thank you for watching